Hey guys, welcome to my channel, The Avid Peruser. So, this week I'm going to be reviewing the fictional series, The Redemption Saga by Kristen Banet, or Kristen Banet. This is a 5-book series. First book is called A Life of Shadows, followed by A Heart of Shame, A Nature of Conflict, An Echo of Darkness, and A Night of Redemption. So, the series takes place in the human world. The people in this book has supernatural powers. So, some books, when the characters have supernatural powers, they're on a different plane or a different world. So, this series takes place in the human world, and there are people with powers. So there's humans and these people with powers. In this world, the supernatural characters are called magi. Magi are magical people. They remind me of X-Men. So you're born with 2 to 3, sometimes 5 gifts. Gifts can be anything from dream walking, teleportation, super strength, controlling metal, phasing, where you can like go through walls and such. And so each person, on average, they'll have 2 different powers. So the main character in my story, Sawyer Matthews, she happens to have 5. So she's a rare type of magi in this world. Sawyer is hiding out from an ex who happens to be, in a sense, a leader of a magi assassin group, like mafia type dudes. Related Sawyer to fall in love with him, and so she was in love with this dude when she was 16. They moved in together. He was going to marry her, and he trained her to be a thief. So she was like under the radar, no one would notice her, but she has the phasing power that allows her to sneak into buildings and like go through walls and such. So he trained her to be a thief. And she also and one night a guy was coming after Axel and she managed to kill him. And he's like, oh, you know what? Instead of being a thief, you can be like my assassin to do this. So he manipulated her into being his assassin. And when she wouldn't, he gave her her first assignment, she wouldn't do it. So instead he took her familiar, which was a black cat, captured in a cage, and would torture it to make sure that Sawyer would do whatever the heck he wanted. So she got to a point that she's like, I'm done. I don't care what you have to do. I'm not going to kill another person for you. And then he actually tried to kill her. He put her on a boat kind of situation, beat her up really bad. She managed to escape. She was going through New York streets trying to find cover, and she came across the gym and Charlie, and he happens to be a healing magi, and he was able to fix her up and give her a place to stay. So that was probably back when she was, I want to say like 21. So it's fast forward 4 years later, she's 25. She's helping the community. She's keeping under the radar. She's paying for kids' school and supplies by thieving. She kind of goes through an agency that was like, oh, we've got a job for you. You know, get this file from this corporation, and we'll give you like $2 million, right? So she goes to this heist, which she thinks should be a quick in and out. And she finds out she was set up, and Axel's there along with all the other people who were part of their magi assassin group. So fight ensues, and she managed to barely get out. And so she comes back to New York, and she's like, crap, Axel has found me. I got to figure out how to get out of here. And it happens to be like fight night the next night. And so Charlie's like, all right, I know you need a new cover. I don't want to see you go, but just have one more fight night. Axel doesn't know you're in New York, so just, you know, hang out with the guys, because she's also a really good fighter. So she goes to fight night. She ends up winning, going to the bar afterwards with celebrating her win, and she comes across this guy called Eli. He's a Texan, and she takes him back to her place, and they're like about to hook up when he takes a handcuff, puts it onto her headboard, and was like, haha, I'm part of the IMPO, which is like the International Magi Police Organization, I believe, IMPO. And she's like, what? And she's thinking it's because they found out that she's a thief, arresting her for her own protection, because they're like, we know Axel's your ex and he's resurfaced and we want you to help us, find him or to give us clues. But in the meantime, we got to protect you because he wants to kill you. So she's just like, oh, okay. Like she comes to terms with that. She's like, okay, well, I need a new place to go so that Axel doesn't come here to the gym and hurt Charlie or Liam or any of the kids that she's protecting. And so she's like, this might work out. I hide out with them. They have all powers. There's 5 of them. So, and she needs to fight Axel and their people. There's a way that she can get help. And she's like, okay, this probably isn't bad. It sucks, but all I gotta do is help him find Axel, and then I can go back to my life. Guys, that makes it the team. So there's Quinn. Quinn is a druid and a magi. So he is the strongest magi in the world because he's got these druid powers, or he's half druid. Druid, they've got a lot of just raw energy. He can make thunderstorms and does earthquake, but he's also a shifter. So he's got these 2 wolves that are his sidekicks as well. So there's Quinn, there's Xander, her friend from childhood. Xander's the all-American, and he has a power of healing, just like Charlie. Then there's Jasper. So Jasper is more the quiet, bookish type. He can do phasing with Sawyer, but he's also a dream walker. Then there's Elijah, the guy who she flirted with at the bar, and he's the Texan. He has the ability of metal bending. So he can build weapons. He can move cars with his hand kind of thing. He's got the power of metal. He's like Magneto. So number 5 is Vincent. So Vincent, or better known as Vinny, he is the leader of the group. And he has the power of teleportation, which is also one of the ones that Sawyer has. And he also happens to be the younger brother of Axel. Which book 1, Sawyer doesn't know this. So they all go to Atlanta. That's their home base, and they start preparing or figuring out where Axel can be and how's the best way for them to find him. By the end of book 1, Sawyer ends up getting kidnapped by Axel, and then the guys have to come and find her, and they end up arresting Axel, and that's how book 1 ends. They find they arrest Axel, and everyone's okay. Book 2 happens. A Heart of Shame. So Axel's in prison, and the team finds out that Sawyer happens to be Shadow, the assassin that everyone thought was dead. And so there's this weird and Sawyer also finds out that Vinny is Axel's younger brother. So as you can imagine, now that they know, the group dynamics kind of implode because everyone was lying. So now that they know that Sawyer is really Shadow has 100 deaths on her record. So the IMPO is we can put you in jail right along Axel. So instead, because you helped us out, you have to work for us with this group for 5 years to get rid of other equally bad dudes, and we'll clear your record and you can go back to your old life, right? So the team gets their first assignment. So they have to figure out why there's a whole bunch of magi being murdered in Texas. So they figure that out, and then goes to book 3. By the end of book 2, Sawyer gets more comfortable with the guys. They start having a family situation. And in book 3, she's getting really comfortable with the guys. She's finding herself on equal footing with them. And they went to the IPO head offices, and they're getting award. As James, their handler, pulls Quinn aside and is like, hey, so the council wants to meet with you after you guys get your award for being awesome and solving that crime from book 2. And Quinn's like, okay. The council pretty much saying is that we need you to go to Brazil and find and kill druids who are killing humans. And Quinn's like, the fudge? I'm not going to, like, druids, he's half druid. And he's like, druids are the strongest, craziest people in the world. And you want me to locate one and kill it? He's like, there's no way, I'm not doing that. And so the council, being the awesome dicks that they are, manipulate him. It's like, no, you're not, I quit. It's like, you can't quit because you're hostile druid / magi mix, and you need to be controlled. So if we can't control you, we're gonna have to put you out. So they pretty much threaten to kill him or put him in jail if he doesn't go with their plan. They find the druid, they take her out. They take her out with the help of other druids in the area, and they manage to succeed. Side note, in this book, Sawyer gets another animal who happens to be a jaguar. No. Yes. She happens to get a jaguar, which ironically is called Sombra. And Sombra is shadow in Spanish, which is her assassin name. So that came like full circle. It's really cute. So that's book 3. Book 4, they find out that Axel has escaped prison. Now that they know Axel's out of prison, their only mission is to find him, and the government tells them, you can kill him. Find him and kill him. We also find out in book 4 that he is taking out council members as well. So council members are dying, and the team is sent to find a way to protect these council members. So Sawyer kind of gets put at the top of the task force to protect the council members, to find Axel, and to kill Axel. So book 5 is her finding him. He ends up like blowing up a lot of buildings. People get murdered. Their handler, James, gets killed. And at the end, it's like this fight between Vincent, his brother, and Sawyer. They are in a room with Axel, and they're facing off to try and kill him. I'm not going to tell you who kills him, but he ends up dying, and that's like the end of the series. They kind of have a happy ever after. They continue being this family, and I come to realize that so the plot of the story is to find Axel, stop this bad guy amongst stopping other bad guys, right? But the real story is finding a family, and Sawyer has completed her arc. I rate this series a 5. It had such good suspense. You never, like, usually I can figure out what's going to happen, but I definitely feel like there was points that I'm like, oh my gosh, they're dead. How are they going to survive this? Like, oh my gosh, she's screwed. Like, Sawyer's a badass chick, but she's also vulnerable, so you can relate to her. She's super relatable. Because in the end, she just wants what everybody wants. They want a place to call their home, or to call their own. They want a home. They want people to share their life with. They want a family. And having multiple lovers never hurts, Love reverse heroes. So definitely get it. I have a link in the description. Share, like, subscribe. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time.